Night in the dungeon, the invitation Anna woke up to the sound of her phone ringing. It was vibrating on the nightstand, signaling a new message. The clock read 10:03 p.m. What nonsense at this hour? She thought, reaching for the phone. The message was short and unusual. If you want to learn the truth about your house, come to the old factory at 11 p.m. Only one condition: come alone. Anna froze. Her house. What truth? The building indeed had a long and mysterious history. She had bought it for a low price since many people avoided settling in the old part of town. But over the months, she had grown increasingly disturbed by the strange noises echoing at night from the basement. Despite her fear, curiosity got the better of her. Quickly dressing, Anna stepped out into the chilly autumn night, where the moonlight only partially illuminated the road. The old factory had been abandoned for years, shrouded in legends. Its metal doors creaked as if sensing her presence. Inside, it was dark, and her flashlight became her only source of light. On the floor, she noticed an arrow painted in red, pointing to a metal hatch. Anna pried it open with great effort, and a rush of cold air from the underground made her shiver. Descending the stairs, she found herself in a long corridor with damp walls. The echo of her footsteps mingled with faint, almost inaudible whispers. From time to time, she paused, but all she could hear was her own racing heartbeat. Encounter with the past at the end of the corridor, Anna found a room dimly lit by old lamps. In the center of the room stood a table with an old book, a key, and a candle on it. She felt as though someone was watching her. Suddenly, a creak sounded behind her. Turning around, Anna saw a shadow moving slowly. She gripped the key in her hand, ready to defend herself. But from the darkness emerged an elderly man with hollow eyes and a pale face. "Have you come to learn the truth?" he asked. Anna nodded, barely suppressing her trembling. The man gestured toward the book. "Open it. It holds the answers to all your questions. But remember, knowledge can be dangerous." The book and the voices opening the book, Anna saw drawings of an old house resembling her own. But in each illustration, there were horrifying details. Eerie silhouettes peering out of windows or rooms that didn't exist in reality. As she read, she learned that her house had once been the site of strange rituals. The basement she feared so much had been the central part of these ceremonies. With each word, the book grew hotter until Anna felt it burning her fingers. At that moment, the corridor filled with loud voices. They echoed from everywhere, shouting her name. Anna dropped the book and ran toward the exit. But instead of the corridor, she found herself facing new doors that hadn't been there before. The final choice, the doors led to a dark room with a mirror. Approaching it, Anna saw not her reflection but a little girl. She recognized the girl. It was herself as a child. The girl was crying, reaching out to Anna. Suddenly, the mirror began to crack. Black hands emerged from it, grabbing Anna by the shoulders. She struggled to break free, but it was futile. The hands pulled her into the mirror, and darkness consumed everything. The other side, Anna awoke in dim light, lying on a cold floor. Around her were the same walls, but instead of an empty corridor, she found herself in a vast hall filled with strange figures. They were statues of people, their faces frozen in terror. In the center of the hall stood a stone altar covered in inscriptions in an unknown language. Beside it stood the same elderly man. He no longer looked frail and weak. His eyes glowed red, and his voice sounded deep and menacing. "You've crossed the boundary. Now you are part of this world," he said. "But not all is lost. If you want to return, you must pass a trial." "What must I do?" Anna asked, summoning the last of her courage. "Choose one of the statues. If you choose correctly, you will find your way home. If not, you will remain here forever." Anna approached the statues. She felt a strange energy emanating from each one. One resembled her, but with a distorted face. Another was the girl from the mirror. The third had an unfamiliar but kind-looking face. After long deliberation, Anna touched the statue of the girl. Suddenly, everything around her began to dissolve, and she felt herself being pulled back into the darkness. The return, she woke up in her bed. The clock read 6 a.m. Everything seemed normal, but on her nightstand lay an old key and a small doll resembling the girl from the mirror. Anna never heard the voices in her house again, but every night she felt as though someone was watching her from the shadows. She understood. A part of that world had stayed with her forever.